And always keep one very important aspect in mind. The 5 natural laws will always come chronologically, okay, chronological, and follow each other. So there's no, for example, there's no, oh, I gained freedom because I'm in peace with myself and I'm the ruler of myself. I gained knowledge and that's why I'm confused. That's not what happens, right? There is no randomness here. It's all chronological and comes in order, right? So if not, there's no, I've accepted the truth and that's why I've developed knowledge. So now I'm in a state of confusion. That's not what's possible. It simply is not possible. You only can be confused if you're ignorant about some other aspect, and you only can be ignorant if you have fear of whatever, right? Okay, but you probably know what you're fearing. If it's like the being afraid of not becoming successful, if losing money, the FOMO, whatever, some sort of fear that leads to ignorance, and only then you can be confused, and only then other people can control you, and only then you will attract chaos to your life, right? But it's always in order. You cannot go from ignorance to freedom. So if you are on the negative side of this loop, you cannot magically go on the other positive side. It doesn't work like that. Okay, it will never be like this ever. The 5 natural laws are chronological and cannot be skipped either. They come in order. So maybe you saw this sign a lot of times already, right? Some call it the yin and yang. Some call it whatever, like whatever what it is. And our understanding of it, again, it's just the balance, and it's always the cycle of what you go. Again, this thing spins, and again, either in the negative loop or in your positive loop. Okay, so that's where it is. On the other side, you can make it like this. So either in the consciousness on the positive or the negative loop in here. Right, so let's choose another color so you can see my perfect drawings in here. So that's the negative, for example, right? So either on the positive side of things or on the negative side of things, right? So it's either starting with the consciousness, then there comes the knowledge. With the knowledge, you gain inner control. With the inner control, you gain true freedom as you're in peace with yourself, right? Your thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned, right? And then things start to align, right? It's in that order. It cannot be things starting to align and then you gain consciousness. It doesn't work like that. You cannot have only the knowledge and then immediately go to order. It doesn't work like that. Same thing with the negative side of things, right? You cannot have or be controlled by other people and being influenced negative by other, and then 100% you cannot just out of a sudden then gain freedom. That doesn't work like that. You have to go these steps first, or if you're in this stage in life, you have to first reverse these steps and then go into this loop. Okay, same thing again. You cannot go in from ignorance immediately to chaos. You will find yourself from ignorance in a stage of confusion first, and then some other circumstances control you and some other entities control you. Okay, but you will find yourself in one of these loops, and obviously the moment you can identify it, you can break free from that. And the most important thing, again, always, if you do something in your life from now on, see yourself either in this side, right, where you're like happy, or on this side where you're not happy, right? Oh, look at how sad this guy is, right? So with every single decision you make in your life, it brings you either in this direction or this direction. See it like a nice balanced, what I would like call it, some scale, right? So in this scale, right, you have the 0 point. Obviously make that like balanced. So if that's the most possible perfect order loop, right, that's the order. And here, so that's your goal. And that is the worst thing, and that's like pure chaos where you don't know what's going on. So it doesn't matter what you do in life, if it's like if you do something or don't something, every decision you make, if you go today to the lake with your friends, or if you sit down, backtest charts, put in the work and effort to learn and backtest and understand the charts truthfully, that obviously brings you further into this direction. But guess what? It's like you can expect like there's like people on this side, right? Okay, that's a human. That's not a human. Like that's a fatter human right here. And they, what is it called in English? Like they're towing like the rope, right? So whatever. This guy obviously wants to drag it in this direction, and this guy wants to drag it in this direction. And there's like here is like the flag, which decides like where you are in life. And obviously it's always this back and forth, back and forth. The flag sometimes is here, sometimes it's here. But obviously with every action you do, you're either dragging this guy into the right direction or like this guy dragging you in the wrong direction. So you will find yourself bouncing further. Again, sometimes again, you can be confused. Then you go back to a stage of ignorance, but then you find yourself fearing. Then all of a sudden, out of a sudden you gain consciousness because you learned something new and broke free from the fear, right? And then you gain knowledge. Perfect. And all of a sudden you don't make it into this stage and you only gain back to consciousness. You're aware of something when all of a sudden you find yourself into fear again because you reversed a step, right? So it's always this back and forth with every single decision you do. Again, if you eat a cheeseburger or if you eat a healthy meal for like some protein, if you go to the gym, if you don't go to gym, every little single decision in life brings you either further to the positive or negative loop. And if you have that in mind, you will think twice if you open your Instagram, scroll through nonsense stuff, or like watch a YouTube video, watch a Netflix series, or if you actually put in the work. Okay, so keep that in mind always from now on when you do anything.